In this video, we are going to show you how you can integrate our platform with ManyChat and create an automated SMS autoresponder series to follow up with your prospects. This is an advanced tutorial. Before continuing, be sure you have already watched the training video called Integrations and Webhooks, and also the more detailed training video called Using Webhooks with Zapier. If you have not done so already, please close this video and complete those tutorials first, as this will not be backtracking, but instead be a continuance of what you have already learned and hopefully already implemented. ManyChat is a powerful messaging automation tool that enables businesses to engage with their customers through various messaging channels, including SMS, email, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Telegram. For this tutorial, we are going to focus on creating an automated SMS autoresponder campaign in ManyChat integrated with our platform through a Zapier webhook. Keep in mind though, once your contacts are integrated with ManyChat, you may want to utilize these other marketing channels as well. Once you are logged into your ManyChat account, click the Settings icon on the left-hand menu. From there, select SMS from the Channel submenu. The ManyChat service uses Twilio for ultimately sending the text messages, so you will need to have an account there as well. Click the Sign Up with Twilio link to be taken to Twilio. If you have an existing account, just log in as I am doing here. New subscribers will need to create an account first. We are now logged in and viewing the Twilio dashboard. The first thing we need is a phone number. Click Phone Numbers, Manage, then Buy a Number. There are a number of search options. You can select by area code, a particular number sequence, or even attempt to spell a vanity name. We'll pick a Phoenix area code for this example. Next, follow the prompts to buy your new number. After that, you will need to click into the settings area for that number and initiate an A2P registration. Cell phone companies are cracking down on spam and fraudsters, so you will need to provide your company details and use case and be approved before the service can be used. It generally takes a few days for the approval. Be sure to provide detailed information for everything, as it is a manual review process and you wouldn't want to experience unneeded delays. Next, be sure to connect your number to the messaging service you selected. Low volume mixed A2P messaging service is the most common for lower volume customers. Go here to check on the status of your A2P application. We are now going to click back to the dashboard area so we can access our API credentials, which we'll need for the next step back at ManyChat. Copy and paste the 3 values for the Twilio SID, auth token, and the phone number. Be sure to add your country code, +1 for US and Canada. On success, you'll be taken here. Next, click the Contacts nav item and click on a contact to test. Enter a quick message. Now click to send a test. Okay, received and got the reply too. All good here. Keep in mind, this will only work at this stage if your Twilio account has been approved. Back in Twilio, we can view the message log to see if the ManyChat communication occurred. You can also view the events log, which will display more details if there was a failure. Usually at this stage, if there is a failure, it's most likely due to your pending approval. I know we are moving fast, but just pause and rewind if you need to review any of the steps so far. For the next stage, we are going to set up the connection between Zapier and ManyChat. Zapier already has pre-built actions for many of the ManyChat functions, but unfortunately, inserting contacts into your ManyChat CRM is not one of them. For that initial step, we need to use the ManyChat API, which will require a few updates and an approval over there to continue. Let's jump back over to ManyChat, and I'll take you through the process. Click into Settings, then scroll down to the Extensions section and click API. If this is your first time here, you will need to follow the steps to create your API key. This will be a unique key just for you, so keep it secure. From here, you can click over to Swagger, which is an area that outlines ManyChat's various API calls, and it also provides a testing area for you to confirm operations. First though, we need to go back to ManyChat settings, and in the Channels section, click Email. Before the API will work, it is necessary to enable this email channel and go through their approval process. The questionnaire is not as comprehensive as the A2P application over at Twilio, but they will still want to have a look at your website and confirm your opt-in messaging is compliant. Once you've received your approval, we can proceed to the next step and test the API functions. Return back to the API section and copy your API key to your clipboard. Then click back over to Swagger. Click the Authorized button on the right. A modal will open for you to paste your API key. Be sure to enter it in the correct format, exactly as it shows. Enter the word bearer, followed by a space. Then paste your API key and click Authorize. Close the modal, and your credentials have been stored. You can confirm by seeing the lock over here is now showing in the locked position. From past experience, please note that this has just stored your API key and not verified it. If you entered it incorrectly or are still pending an approval from ManyChat, it may still not work. So let's test and confirm. Scroll to the subscriber section, create subscriber call, and expand that section. Once open, click the Try It Out function button. This will open an editable area with the options available for that specific call, where you can modify and submit a test. For this example, let me enter a first name, a last name, a phone number. For the phone, make sure you enter a country code. For US and Canada, that would be +1, followed by the 10-digit number. I'm going to delete the WhatsApp phone number section because I won't be using it. But I will enter an email address so I can collect that. You can delete the gender option, but you will need to keep the two below that. The opt-ins for SMS and email need to stay as they are, set to true, as those are required. Lastly, update the consent phrase, matching what the prospect agreed to when they signed up. Next, let's test. Click on the Execute button to submit the post request. Scroll down, and you can see the post submission you sent. Down further, you can see the server response. What we are looking for here is a 200 code, indicating that our test was a success. Also, in this server response, we can see some additional information was passed back. This will be important later on when we connect up with Zapier, as we will need to use this contact ID variable to ultimately enroll the new subscriber to the SMS Autoresponder campaign. Let's return back to ManyChat and go to the Contacts area to confirm this came through. You may need to refresh the page for the latest records to appear. Click into your newly added contact, and let's confirm that all of the information came through successfully. Looks good to me. We can consider this a success. Next, we'll open up Zapier and create a new Zap to automate this process. We are going to create a new Zap as we did previously. Set the initial trigger to be a catch hook and connect that to one of your landing page forms. If you need a refresher on the process, refer back to the last video. Let's move to step 2, where we will select an action. Although there are built-in Zap functions for ManyChat, there is not one available for inserting the initial contacts, as that needs to be done with the API key. So instead of selecting ManyChat as the action type, pick the Webhooks by Zapier option again. Under Event Type, we are going to select the Post function, which we will use to fire off the API call to ManyChat. Referring back to the Swagger testing area from before, we'll need to copy the relevant info, starting with the request URL for that specific API call. Copy and paste the URL here. Then, leave the payload type as it shows, with form being the type selected. Below that, we will need to go through and add each of the fields and map them to the data from our webhook in step 1, starting with the first name and then continuing on with the other fields. Next, we'll enter the last name and get that mapped correctly. Next, we'll add the phone number. For this, we'll need to click in and manually add a +1 before the field data inserts, as ManyChat requires the country code, and that information does not pass over from our lead capture form. After this, we'll add the email address. The last 3 items will not be mapped to incoming data, but these are required fields, so just type in the hard-coded data. For fields, has opt-in SMS and has opt-in email, enter the word true. For the consent phrase, enter that too. I'll just say approved for this example. Scroll down to the headers section, where we will enter in the authentication info. You can copy this over from Swagger as well. Starting in the headers box, you'll need to copy over or enter the word authorization. Then below that, we need to enter our API credentials. You can copy and paste from Swagger or enter again. Be sure it is in the same required format, starting with the word bearer, followed by a space, then pasting in your API key. Select Continue, then confirm that everything appears correct. Before you submit a test, make sure that your contact record does not already exist in ManyChat. If it does, the duplicate will create an error response. If needed, delete your existing contact record in ManyChat before you submit your test. Okay, it looks like our test went through fine. We can confirm by going back to the ManyChat CRM and searching for our new record. Congratulations, the hard work is done. We've now been able to automatically create ManyChat subscribers through the Zapier webhook. There are a number of ways you can create an SMS follow-up campaign in ManyChat using their automations and sequences. For detailed how-tos on using ManyChat, I'd refer you back to their internal help videos. Let me walk you through the process quickly here though, so we can see a complete working example by the end of this video. The next step in the Zap will be to enroll them into an automated sequence. This time, search for and select the ManyChat pre-built routines. There are a number of options under event types. Scroll down through the list and select Subscribe User to Sequence. Click Continue, then Continue again. This pre-built function requires 2 values, a user ID and sequence. We can select the user value from the list, but before we can select a sequence, we first need to have one created within our ManyChat account. Let's jump back over to ManyChat for a moment and set one up. From the left-hand navigation menu, select Automation, Sequences, then click Add a new sequence. Give it a friendly name so you can remember when you need to select it back in Zapier a bit later. From here, you will create a series of SMS messages to go out, and you can set the schedule. There are a number of options available, so play around and get as creative as you want. Again, refer back to ManyChat help videos for the specifics of setting up a sequence. It is pretty easy to follow, and once done, you'll have a flow similar to this. For our example, I added 2 messages. When someone is enrolled to this sequence, an immediate SMS will be sent. Then on day 2, the second message will be triggered. Back over to Zapier. Let's finish the routine. With our sequence now created, we can refresh and select our newly created sequence from the list. With both required values now entered, we can now test the Zapier step. The results look good here, and I just got my first SMS message, so I know it's working. We can also flip back over to ManyChat and confirm by looking at our contact record. You can see here that the contact is now subscribed to the sequence we created, called SMS Autoresponder Test. The final step will be to return back to Zapier to publish our Zap. Click Publish, and we're done. Wow, great job. I know there were quite a few steps to create this automation, but it's really just a one-time process. Now, every time one of your prospects submits their information on a landing page with this webhook, your fully automated SMS campaign will begin. Imagine how much more successful your prospecting will be with another touch point like this in place. In addition to having your existing email autoresponders, you can now add SMS and greatly improve your prospecting activities. Thanks again for staying with me to the end. See you on the next video.